from Kingston, Jamaica. Yes, my name is Joanne Richards Goff, and I am chief editor of the KW magazine CREWShall Connections in Faith and Culture. And we want to welcome you today to episode 29 of CREWShall Conversations. Now, the KW magazine, Come, Make We Worship, is dedicated to facilitating conversations about worship and cultural identity among Christ followers, both on the African continent and in her diasporas. We want to use this space to get to know each other. We want to get to know ourselves, and we want to get to know our Creator in deeper, more authentic ways. So, yes, we are happy that you are here in the room. In the room, we have Dana Barrett as usual, and she's going to be interfacing with you on the Facebook page. So if you are on our KW Facebook page, look out for comments from Dana Barrett. Of course, we also have some other people in the room, or special guests, who we are going to introduce you to in a moment. However, in the meantime, we want you to invite out your friends, invite your relatives, just call in everyone who you think needs to be a part of this crucial conversation about cultural identity. Yes? So, what we normally do at this point, giving you time to call your people, is to play our theme song, Come, Make We Worship. Yes, people, we're going to worship him today. So now, call out your friend them and call out your people them. Yeah?
Come make we worship him. Come make we dance and sing. Give thanks and praise to the King of Kings. Come make we worship him. And we provide it. Come make we worship him. Come make we dance and sing. Give thanks and praise to the King of Kings. Come make we worship him. Now we protect. Come make we worship him. Come make we dance and sing. Give thanks and praise to the King of Kings. Come make we worship him. How we deliver. Come make we worship him. Come make we dance and sing. Give thanks and praise to the King of Kings. Come make we worship him. Come make we worship him. Come make we dance and sing. Give thanks and praise to the King of Kings. Come make we worship him. Come make we worship him. Come make we dance and sing. Give thanks and praise to the King of Kings. Come make we worship him. Come make we worship him. Come make we worship him. Come make we worship him.
Yes, people. I hope that we have all called out our people. And we want to welcome in the room Miss Tracy-Ann Hyman and her team from the Skolastik Oasis Caribbean. Tracy is and by the way, their team is also in, their team is also in on Instagram. Their team is also on Instagram broadcasting this conversation, this very crucial conversation. Yes, wanna see how Miss Tracy pretty? All right, Tracy and Hyman. T.A. Hyman is an author. She's also the CEO of Skolastik Oasis. And we are going to be hearing so much more about her. Here is the thing. And hi, Vivian. Good to see you. Jamel Brown is saying, go, Miss Hyman. It's nice to know, that your people are out there rooting for you and encouraging you and walking with you. Balmain Broderick, good afternoon from the USA. Welcome, Balmain Broderick. So, yeah, man, what we do in these conversations, right, is from the KW magazine, we choose people who have submitted articles and people who have done advertisements and people who have been interviewed. And we say, no, the little space in the magazine is not enough for us to get to know these people and what is behind what they do and what they think and how they feel. So, Tracy, it is so good to have you here inside CREWShall Conversations. Wagwan, you good?
Thank you for having me. Woo!
Okay, now Tracy, I realized that I had turned my thing down so low I couldn't hear you. So let me turn it back up. All right.
Woo! It's good to be here. It's good to be here. You hearing me now, Joanne?
Oh yes, loud and clear. I am hearing you. So now the first question we always ask is, where you come from? Where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, and St. Mary. These are, of course, parishes in Jamaica for a significant period of time. Just before I'd done Common Entrance, I was living in St. Mary. And so I also, when I became an adult, I went back to St. Mary to work. So I always say now Kingston and St. Mary is where I was born and raised. But importantly, just to give you some background about my family, I'm coming from humble beginnings. My mother and father, mother's family coming from Trenchtown. That's where they grew, yes. And father from Spanish Town in some city. So, my grandparents were from humble beginnings, but they were determined to bring their children out of poverty, which would be my mom and my parents, and worked very hard. My grandmother had 5 of them, and she ensured that they remained focused, despite, sometimes children can not remain focused, but ensure they remain focused and lifted them so that they could lift themselves out of poverty. So now my parents having us, we are the benefactors of them working hard, coming out of the inner cities now to try and build a future for us and to ensure that we have an education and can also build our next generation. So I want to just give kudos to that in terms of where I'm coming from.
Excellent. So I am hearing a feedback inside here. I don't know if anyone else is hearing it, but let us not let that concern us as we move along, because that was very important information, Tracy. Every time we have these conversations, we discover new things about people that we never knew before. And I know this is going to be a time of discovery. So you told us already you went to high school in Kingston. You were in St. Mary, and then, so which high school you say you went to?
So let me start. I did basic school, Camp Road Basic School, which is on South Camp Road. Then I went to St. Andrew Preparatory School here in Kingston, and then we left and went to St. Mary. In St. Mary, I went to the St. Cyprian's Preparatory School, and then took the Common Entrance and actually passed for St. Mary High. So I was supposed to really go to school in St. Mary, but because of my father's job, I had to now come back to Kingston. So then we arranged for a transfer to go to the St. Andrew High School for girls.
Gotcha.
Out there is where I went to school. Then I went to UE. Then I went to Japan and did my master's, and the story continues. That's a mouthful.
Yes, the story definitely continues. All right. So now, you the reason why I asked about the educational background, is because education is playing such a major role in your story. But nevertheless, at what point in your journey did you encounter Christ?
This was when I was at St. Andrew High School. This is actually, I think it's around 1993. In fact, I encountered Christ and gave my life to Christ on my parents' anniversary, which is January 25th. I believe is 1993 at the time. And which led me to become involved, very active involved in ISCF while I was at St. Andrew High School, and set the foundation for me to go to college. But the encounter was, at the time, I was actually at home, and I went into a reflective mode in terms of questions that started to come to me. Who are you? Why were you born? What were you placed on earth to do? Why are you special? And where are you going to go when you die?
Wow.
I was just bombarded with those questions one day. And I mean, it felt as if they were like a voice speaking to me. I can't really explain it fully, but I know I felt like a presence in the room that I was in. And I remember saying, my God, I have no answers to these questions. What do I do? Through those questions, asking, which are connected to identity, connected to who I am, connected to what's going to happen after this life, is when I found my release and relief in the Word of God and had an encounter with Jesus Christ.
Wow, that is a powerful testimony right there, especially as it connects with who you are, because I really believe that when we know who we are, it helps us to have a deeper connection with our Creator. Yes. In the room, I see we have Innocent Solomon joining from Jalingo, Nigeria in West Africa. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
All right.
Reverend Solomon.
Oh, it's Reverend Solomon. Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so now, moving forward, you are here because you have been featured in the KW magazine. Not just once, but twice. In the first issue where you came in is this one, the one that focused on Marcus Garvey. You tell about the influence that Garvey had on you and the company that you started to help Caribbean and African people find funding for higher education. And the second is actually an advert about your soon to be released book. How do you use these darn chopsticks? Which tells of your experiences living in Japan. So, yes. Tell us, how did you get to Japan in the first place?
Well, let me backtrack a bit in terms of, you asked about the first issue with Marcus Garvey, right?
Yes, yes.
And of course, Marcus Garvey is our first national hero.
Right.
And was committed to education and entrepreneurship for the African race, African peoples. He traveled around to Central America and saw the economic condition and realized that, hey, there's so much talent in our people, there's so much worth. Yes. It's important to assist in enhancing, I guess the whole phrase, up you mighty race. Yes. That really has resonated in our business, would I say even subconsciously, because then when I went and did my research, I realized Marcus Garvey was big on education, wanting his people to have education, and the company Skolastik is about persons being able to access education. In our case, the focus right now is on tertiary education. So to go to your question now about how did Japan come about, I was actually here in Jamaica working as selling roofing and hardware supplies. Can you believe it?
Roofing and hardware supplies. I see the connection, yeah.
There's no connection. Working with selling roofing. And I said to myself, because I had done a bachelor's degree, I think it was a couple years ago, and I was just out in the working world getting experience. And I said, no, man, there is more. There's much more out there. And I began to yearn for something more in terms of accessing higher education. At that time too, while I was working, I heard that the company that I was going to go, that I was working on, was going to go into closure.
Oh.
So you know what, I said to myself, while they're doing that, let me start to go and seek online for educational opportunities, because I wanted to go to Europe.
Oh.
That's where I wanted to know, I wanted to study. I wanted to go to Paris, drink wine, find and dine in wonderful restaurants. And so I began to searching down. I found a program that was going to take me to Europe in terms of 4 countries in Europe, like a sandwich program. And it was under the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So I applied.
Oh.
Then, of course, so Japan was like plan B. So something just said, okay, I saw the Japanese opportunity. I just put in an application, but I wasn't really focused there. My mind was on Europe. So it so happened that my beloved program to Europe, that was going to facilitate me going to Paris, the city of love, and all these things, did not materialize. Even till to this day, they have not written back an email to say, Miss Hyman, Tracy, you didn't get through, nothing.
Purpose.
But instead, I got an email from the University of Tokyo in Japan to say you have gotten a full scholarship through the government, a MEC scholarship, and we need you here by October 2008. So that's how so even when I went to Japan, I didn't know, I did about 1 week of Japanese class. I couldn't speak a sentence in Japanese. But that is how I ended up in Japan.
Look at that. So both Dana and I are in the room saying purpose. You see, when God knows what his plan is, and he's working it out in your life. Yes. So then that is how you got to Japan. I want to kind of ask you, go back to the name of your company, although we're going to get to it later on. But no, it's all right. I'll ask you later. What did you love the most about being in Japan?
I loved many things, including okonomiyaki, one of my favorite meals that is made with cabbage and vegetables. You know, the Japanese are big on vegetables.
Yes.
All right. So that was a very positive part, and green tea. Yeah. But importantly, I love the freedom that I got from my bicycle. Now, in Japan, yes, you have cars, but everybody has their bicycle. Now, can you imagine me in Kingston, Jamaica, coming to work and riding a bicycle down halfway through road? People, there's a social stigma attached to this bicycle. But in Japan, the professor from the top to the highest to the lowest were riding bicycles. We went to the supermarket, to school, anywhere you could. And of course, that's exercise. You're getting no bus fare being paid. So I got that liberation because I was not under any social stigma or to say, okay, you need to be driving a car. And that bicycle gave me so much freedom. And I love that part. I love about Japan because I was not from there, I was able to experience, develop, and grow naturally without having interference about what should not be or what should not.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
So that was really, one of the liberating parts of being Japan. Also, the ability to get exposed to, in terms of academics, in terms of, we have this thing sometimes when we leave our country here in the Caribbean, that we are going to learn from people. We're going to learn, not realizing that I'm also going to teach.
Yes.
Right? And that persons are also interested, not only for me to learn, but for me to also teach them. Yes. So one of the liberating things about Japan was that I realized I have something to share too, in addition to learn. So it goes both ways. So these are some of the liberating things. And I think that did a lot for me and has done a lot for me, even in my profession, in terms of being in the room, being at conferences. I'm not only going to learn, I'm also going to share because others are interested in hearing about what the Caribbean has to say. In fact, our region right now is coming a lot under the, the spotlight. right? Over the years, we've kind of underestimated. Everything was always about going to foreign alone. But now there's a lot of interest in our region. So it's both ways. And so being in Japan gave me that liberation to say, hey, you're going to receive, but you're also going to give.
Yes. I hope people are hearing well what you're saying in terms of the fact that we have something to give to the rest of the world, and also the fact that it's not about, what should I say now? Our our region is beginning to come into more focus. It's like we have been underground, being prepared for something. And there was a season, before when our region was in more focus, but I think it's happening again. There's a new, fresh season. So I hope, people, that you are hearing well what Miss Tracy and Hyman just said. No.
Joanne, just before you continue, are you
Yes.
still hearing that feedback? Is it okay now?
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
It's
Because I
gone
want to ensure.
now.
All right,
No,
good.
I'm still hearing it,
Oh,
but it is, no, I'm not hearing it now. So I think we're good to go.
and I hope the Facebook persons are not, so they can indicate if they're hearing or
Right.
not.
I wanted to make sure that it was not echoing all the way through to everyone. But also that, I mean, the conversation is interesting enough so that even if we're here a little sound, we still follow you and
Yeah.
understanding purpose in your life. So
Yeah.
now, apart from the chopsticks now, what would you say was your most challenging experience in Japan?
Well, let me tell the audience. Also, I have my chopsticks here too. I brought them, right? So I guess the chopsticks represent the whole Japanese culture, and the book is titled, as you said, "How do you use these darn chopsticks?" I mean, they gave me a warm time to eat because, I mean, think about it. I'm accustomed to using knife and fork, and now having to use these sticks to eat and not ask for these sticks, and not ask for forks when I go to the restaurant. But eventually I had to learn to master to use the sticks because I had to eat. I didn't want to starve to death. So in terms of yeah, I had to eat. Challenges are such in terms of the Japanese culture is one you would say it's probably male dominated. And so what you'd find in the Caribbean, we're used to chivalry, men opening the doors for you and allowing us to go through. So think about it now in Japan, and you're coming through the doors and the men are pushing ahead of you. You're coming out of the elevators, they're pushing ahead of you. And when I first got there, I thought that was so, it was a pet peeve of mine.
Wow.
In terms of, and in the book, I describe these experiences. Some great, not so great. So let me big up the Jamaican men, some of who are still doing these chivalrous acts, because I know sometimes some men are pushing ahead, but you still have men who are opening the doors for us, allowing us to go forward.
Yes, so we have two men in the Zoom room here, Sebastian, and we have Dr. Oral Thomas from the United Theological College of the West Indies as well. Big up to Uno Caribbean men.
Yes, trust me. In fact, kind of straying a bit. I remember one time I was struggling with a bag though. I must give it. Let me big up Japan. I was struggling with a bag in the train station because Japanese persons don't necessarily just. They're polite. That's what's a good thing. They're very polite, but they won't just jump to, assist you unless they know you. And I remember one day I was struggling with a bag, and this angel, let me call it that person, just came out, held my bag, lifted it over the train station, gave me the bag, and just disappeared. Well, maybe it's an angel, maybe it's an angel, but they disappeared.
But it was a Japanese angel.
Japanese angel.
Right.
So that was one. Another thing that was challenging for me during my time in Japan is the difference in terms of West and East. Yes. But that challenge actually became something positive for me. The challenge is that in the West we have an I culture, And in the East, there's a we culture. So I describe it in the book, the I versus the we. So in Japan, it's not about what I want alone. There has to be group consensus, right? So the team has to agree together. We have to work together. So can you imagine me going, I want this, I want that, and you're being looked on? It's not what you want, Tracy. It's what the group wants. I versus we. And it took me some time to learn that lesson, but I had to learn it. And I'm very much appreciative of that lesson now, because I realized one of the main things that are holding us back in the Caribbean, we're not short on resources, we're not short on talent, as I said. It's where we're short on the group and the teamwork. Any day, I feel like preaching now, Joan. Don't start me.
All right, one line of the sermon.
Any day we get that group thing together, no nation. I hope this is being recorded, No nation can beat us here in the Caribbean and in Jamaica. Now we have seen instances.
Hold on. You need to say it again. Say it again slowly. No, I'm serious.
Anytime we come together as a region, as a nation, and we work together in a group. Group consensus. Not just I, but we. No nation can stop us. No region can stop us once we work together. And let me say this. I don't want to.
Oops. Okay. I am so sorry, Tracy. You somehow got muted. Whoa, please unmute yourself. It can happen, guys.
Yes, you're hearing me?
I am hearing you now. Yes.
What's the last thing you heard me say?
I heard you say that we need to operate as a group, get group consensus in the Caribbean so that we can move forward, and we will be, I don't know if you use this word, but this is what is coming to me, unstoppable as a people. All right. People.
And I want to quote the Olympics, because we have examples in the Caribbean of working together. So don't get it twisted. Don't make it don't think that we don't work together. In some instances, on the track, when we're doing our relays, we get it together. For example, just before I went to Japan, it was the Beijing Olympics. So I went to Japan on a high, because when I went to Japan, everybody was talking about Beijing, Usain Bolt. And so we saw in that Olympics 2008, when our men and women work together, that we win. So we already have examples of teamwork, group consensus. And we need to just ride on that and become unstoppable.
That was powerful right there. And I am in 100% agreement with you. Nonkuzung on Instagram, welcome, Nonkuzung, is saying, I am learning something new from this interview. So we are looking forward to transformation taking place.
Hi, Nonku. Nonku is coming in from South Africa.
South Africa. Oh, wonderful. Welcome from South Africa, Nonku Zungu. All right. So now, in an interview with digjamaica.com, you said Japan was where my Black consciousness arose. That was when I got into identity. You further said, when you're in a foreign culture, you realize that you're different. And I want to welcome Margaret Aitchison, because she also made a comment on that statement, and also on the whole thing of traveling. So you understand it's both about learning and teaching. But you said you became Afrocentric or African conscious because of your experience in Japan. No, or while you were in Japan. First of all, how was this change manifested? You're becoming African conscious. What change did that affect in you, your behavior, etc.?
Wow, that's a loaded question. But I need to correct it, because I was looking back on the article and it was saying, when I came to Japan, there was a level of Black awareness or Black consciousness.
Yes.
It started from before. coming to Japan, but Japan accentuated it, highlighted it. And you know, I was 8,000 miles away from home.
Yes.
So I am not among people who look like me. The skin color is different. The hair is different. The derriere is different.
Yes. Everything different.
The ornaments are different.
Yes.
Right? So automatically, without you realizing, you have to face it. Yes. Because you're not among the people in the Caribbean that you're used to. Mm-hmm. So, and then persons want to touch your hair. Your hair is different. They want to, yes, your skin is different. Your body is bigger. I remember, and then the perception, the stereotypes. I remember coming from a Bible study once with Japanese persons, and they were saying to me, you know, you guys are, I'm good on singing, I'm good on dancing, and on the track, we persons from the Caribbean and Jamaica. And I said to her, yes, but we also have a brain, and we also are innovators. We also are scientists. I'm a scientist, so I not only sing, dance, and run, but I also create, innovate, and exhibit excellence. So you have to be, so you're meeting against those different stereotypes that you face. Not intentional, of course, but because we have that. Yes, I see you raising your hand.
You see me raising my hand. Did I miss the part where you told me about you being a runner? Is it that you personally are a runner, or are you just talking about Caribbean people?
Caribbean people, because remember, John, I don't know about you, in high school, everybody have to run on track.
Except me.
Everybody have to do PE.
No.
You didn't run. We had to run. And swim and do all these different, play netball.
Okay, let's get back to the topic at hand. I don't know why I got interrupted for to talk about that.
So, okay. No, being 8,000 miles away from home, you're in your apartment, you come home, no family members are there. Yes. Persons under you are different from persons in terms of your body size, color, your hair. Automatically, you begin to think about yourself. Yes. And I started to say to myself, why am I like this? But then I said, somebody must have made it this way. Yeah, I have this hair texture because when I went there, I had my hair permed. Yes. And then there was no Jamaican hairdresser to perm my hair. Yes. I attempted to perm the hair, and it lasted for 1 week. So I had to, so I had to braid the hair.
Was it a straight perm or a curly perm?
It was a straight perm, but boy, I'm telling you, that didn't last long, and I had to braid it. And then eventually I said, Tracy, you're going to go natural. This is the hair that God gave you. Don't care what people say, tough, or you can't manage it, and all bad hair. I said, but then if I'm saying bad hair, it means that I'm saying the person who created me does not know how to create me properly. Oh, yes. I feel a preach coming, Joanne. Don't start me.
I'm not starting you. You're starting yourself. Go ahead, sis.
So, you become to accept yourself, and as I grew up my hair after a while, I sit there laughing, and then I said, okay, this is my body, and I exercised while I was there. In fact, I got into very good shape because I lifted dumbbells while I was there. I missed my dumbbells. Okay. And I just realized that, hey, I have something to offer. And I said to you before, in conferences, it would be more about what I was going to learn. I realized, no, it's also about what I'm going to give. Mm-hmm. So the environment pushed me further than just the thing that I was just a regular Joe in the room. I was just biding time. I have a contribution. I have this hair. I have this body. I'm created this way. I need to love myself. I don't need to bleach. I don't need to do any of those stuff. This is who I am. Yes. And that is what Japan cemented for me. Wow. That I'm able to go in any room across the world and just speak and be confident in my own skin. So basically what Japan did, it made me comfortable in my own skin.
Awesome. And shout out to Joanne Maria Noel in Trinidad, who is saying she had commented when you gave your first preachment, your first sermon. She says, amen. One Caribbean, unstoppable. And Margaret Aitchison said, so true. The cultures that succeed are more family or group oriented. They are willing to work and sacrifice together. Don L, live from New York as usual. Big up yourself. Sharon Sams in the UK saying we all had to run, but you put it in quotation marks, right? So maybe she is questioning this whole thing of we all.
Sharon had to run. Big up Sharon from the UK. Woo!
Pinky Young is commenting on the innovative side of us and saying, yes, we are innovators in so many aspects. Delia Plunkett, good to see you, saying great discussion. Oh, is Dana says she put it in quotation marks. So that means that Sharon was really saying we all had to run.
So Joan, how come you never, not to stray, how come you never ran?
All right, we really go stray because me and PE was not friend. Okay.
Oh gosh.
So the volleyball lick me upon my finger. Me said this is not for me.
Oh,
Swimming, I could not get out of the pool on my own. My classmates had to haul me out. I am embarrassing myself. I'm going to stop right there. So I'm not going to talk about all the hockey stick lick me upon my ankle nearly broke it. Yeah, we won't speak about this. We won't speak about how I almost failed out of teachers college because I failed PE. All right. All right, we're done. We're done.
Oh, John, don't make the world hear that, please.
It's too late. All right, so let's get back to the question. I had asked you, how was the change manifested? And I was going to ask you if there was some incident that triggered this for you. But I think what you said was I think it's the hair trigger it. What do you think?
Wow, I can't tie to do my hair. I can't tie it down to any one event, but maybe I think the hair was a significant part of it.
Yes. Yeah. Because I remember going to Switzerland as well. It was just such a struggle to find someone who could do my hair the way I want it done. So I know it can really be a turning point. Trust me. Yeah. Hair. Dana can tell us about hair. She did a whole program about hair.
Hair, yes, it's very important.
Yeah. But tell me, how did you said it wasn't totally newfound, but it was newly strengthened African consciousness impact on your Christian experience?
So being alone, 8,000 miles away from home, you begin to think about, of course, where you're from, you think about your race, you also begin to have more time to speak and meditate in terms of as it relates to with God. Yeah. Because then when you leave from school and you come home, you're by yourself in your apartment. Yeah. So your prayer time would increase, your reflection time increases, your ability to hear a little bit more clearer would increase. Mark you, Japan's religion is focused more on Shintoism and Buddhism, right? So Christianity is not a major religion there. Right. But then being a Christian, you have to zoom in. I also was able to find a church, Tokyo Baptist Church, that I went to, multicultural church, very lovely, different persons from all across the world. And importantly, the services were in English.
Very important.
Very important. And so those persons were, really dedicated. They offered relief and release for me on a Sunday to be able to go and worship and to connect with God. You understand? Because also it's kind of hard, especially when the general culture is not Christian, to also maintain focus.
Yes.
Yeah. So that provided very needed relief for me. So I would say I was, not necessarily forced, but pushed to have a close and a deeper walk with God during that time.
Yes.
Right? Wow. And so the connection between, you're saying, the consciousness and Christianity, I guess, would come into identity. Who am I? So now God's saying, this is who you are. I've made it that way. I've made you here that way. I've made your body that way. Accept it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
You understand? I've made it to be able to speak. I've made it to be able to think. I've made it to be able to innovate and create. Work with it. Stop thinking of yourself low, because all along coming through high school, you kind of, we have this thing in the Caribbean, bright, average, dunce. So you're not in the top 90, so you're not bright. So I went there thinking, I'm not bright enough. And when I think about it, I said, but Tracy, you go all the way to Japan on a government scholarship. You think says done spot gone there? You understand? So these are the things that came out in the reflection. I say, but you're not you're not as average as you think you are.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to be overly conceited, but then I begin to realize I do have something to offer.
Yeah.
So the connection is coming between God now and the Afrocentrism in terms of coming to intersect in one. Because I mean, you don't want to have Christianity separate from who your identity and your race is. You want to know that God accepts you and hears from you, as a woman of color. So yes, it occurred.
Integrated self.
Yes.
Is what we aim for. Margaret Aitchison is saying, knowing that we are fearfully and wonderfully made brings overwhelming freedom and ramps up our self-esteem. So
True.
There you have it. And Nunku is saying, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I love that. He's commenting, this person is commenting on your comment that you made about being comfortable in your own skin. And Sharon Sims, who just came out with a book about hair recently, said, I think it was Affirmations or something like that. She said, yes, our hair is very important. She had said that later on.
But Joan, an important point that I want to raise is that maybe coming into that integrated person and accepting and that integration is where the confidence level is built. Because I realized that my confidence level went up.
Yes.
I was now able to speak in a room. I had something to offer. And so I guess once you, as a Christian, it comes to that place where yes, you know your identity in God, and then you're also connected with your race, and that coming to that acceptance, then the confidence level will also be boosted.
Yes.
So when you go into rooms, it's not a matter of black or white or Chinese. It is a matter of Tracy is here, Sebastian is here, Shanake is here, Joanne is here, and we have something to offer. And I think that is what happened in my case.
Awesome. And then you came home and you had a struggle reintegrating in Jamaica and finding a job. How come? What was that all about after all of this confidence building?
So now think about it. You come out of the box.
Yes.
You leave and come out of the box.
Yes.
And then when you come home to go back into the box,
yes,
that's going to be a problem.
A big problem.
One of the things I said to myself when I was coming back home was that I was not going to come back into a box of limitation. I was not going to go back to the same old Tracy, the same old just fall in line and just go along with whatever is what the society may want you to become. Yes, society has a role. I don't want to get it twisted in terms of grooming, especially the Christian culture, but now is it that I'm going to go back and just join a line and just continue along a what is that now on the belt? You call that belt?
Conveyor belt.
Conveyor belt. So, just to go do a 9 to 5, get married, have kids, get a house, and then you go to church once a week. I was not going to just go on that narrative as what we considered as Christian and normal. It had to be about more than that. Yes. What was I going to contribute? What was I going to give to my fellow men? And so that's the reason why the company formed, Skolastik. It is to improve and to enhance the socioeconomics of Caribbean, African persons and peoples all across the world.
Wow. Yeah. Big vision is a Marcus Garvey sized vision. I mean, where did you learn about him, by the way? Was that in school?
School. Remember, we have to do our national heroes. We have our Heroes Day that takes place in October every year.
Yes.
And then just doing general readings. And let me also promote, I think Garvey, the musical, is done by Ashe. I don't know if you saw it, Joanne.
No,
it was done. You need to see that. They did an excellent job of putting his life in a musical. The Ashe Performing Arts Company. It's not running now, but they did an excellent job, and that helped to also reinforce his story and his life for me.
Awesome. Diana Shakes on Instagram is saying, excellent motivation right there, Tracy. That was a little earlier, but the whole thing is very motivating. And I should just pause and give a little plug here. Tracy, and you can see that she can now go anywhere in the world because right here we are on Zoom, the entire world. So you can invite her into your space to give talks that will motivate your people. Anyways,
Yes.
and Vivine Peter is saying, great program. I'm learning so much. I like to hear stories of people who travel. Yes, Vivine. So that is how you learned about Garvey. Tell us a little bit now about SOC, the Skolastik Oasis Caribbean, because here it is that I am seeing very clearly why it is that you had to have a problem reintegrating in Jamaica, because you were not supposed to reintegrate and find a job. This was your purpose. First of all, Skolastik, you spell it different. That
Yes.
spelling, if people were looking it up in them dictionary, they would never find it, because you decided to use the Cassidy spelling system, the same system that is used for the Jamaican New Testament. Why? Why did you use the Cassidy spelling system?
Yes, I'm going to answer that, John, but I want to tell a quick story in terms of the reintegration. Just a
Sure.
kind of a funny story in terms of,
Yes.
because we were used to riding the bicycle and walking in Japan.
Yes.
Now here it is. Now I'm back in Jamaica now, and no car at the moment.
Yes.
And so I'm walking, and I'm taking the bus here in Jamaica, and people are asking me, "Where's my car?" So that was a whole issue with reintegration. Walking some far distances, because in Japan you walk. And I'm realizing that, hey, Tracy, this walking thing can't keep up, but I was walking some far distances because I got used to doing that in Japan. Got used to taking the bus. We take the bus in Japan, realizing now what was hard to integrate when the bus is not leaving on time. I used to get furious because in Japan,
yes,
if it's at 4 o'clock, 3 minutes to 4, the bus is there waiting for you, and you get in and you go. So that was the challenge in terms of that was one challenge in terms of reintegrating. Now, going back to answer your question on the spelling, I actually, when I came back, I had no job, Joanne. Couldn't get a job, reintegration problems. I volunteered with Wycliffe, Caribbean.
Oh,
This is the connection now.
that was
which
the
you were a part of.
connection. Yes.
Right.
And which
Wycliffe took me
Dana is
on.
still a part of, by the way.
Yes, you're still a
She's
part.
a
Good.
linguist. Dana is a linguist teaching
Linguist.
people, yes, through Wycliffe. Yes.
So I volunteered, and because there was no job, I mean, I got a lot of flack for it. You're not getting an income, but trust me, that was one of the best investments and seed I sowed. That would open the door for other things.
Awesome.
So we went there, volunteered, worked on the Patois Bible.
Yes.
Not the translation, but we were part of the team that was with Rosalind Simmons, who was responsible for that project.
June, yes.
To sensitize persons across the island about this Patois Bible using the Frederick Cassidy system.
Frederick Cassidy system, yes.
Yes. So in kudos to that, my period, my time, my travels, I can imagine I left Japan, one travel, come back now to Jamaica, traveling across the island, promoting the Patois Bible. By the way, get your copy.
Yes.
Get your copy at the Bible Society of the West Indies. And so I decided to give kudos to my time there to spell Skolastik that way.
Yes.
Using the Cassidy system. So yes, Skolastik is actually not spelled using English.
Right. It's Jamaican.
Yes.
It's a Jamaican spelling. I mean, it means a lot to me, because you know how I feel about the Jamaican language and the Jamaican New Testament. You know, even my mother is using it in her daily devotions and all of these wonderful things. Yes, yes, yes. It is so thank you for the work that you put in during that period when you should have been very concerned about earning, but you were more concerned about, well, just being where God wants you to be, I suppose.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
So the name of your company is Skolastik Oasis Caribbean. What are the services that you offer?
So we provide scholarship search, matching, and application support.
Yes.
For persons interested in higher education. And when I say higher education, I'm talking about university level. So your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, and your PhD. We are determined to find scholarships anywhere in the world they are,
Mm-hmm.
identify them, bring them to our clients' attention, and help them prepare for the scholarship. And so far we have succeeded, because I mean, when I started the company, you know, I mean, I said, God, what am I to do here? In fact, my thing is Exodus 4.
Yes.
I was saying all I have is a master's degree from Japan. I can't see anything else when I was having
Exodus 4, sorry,
Exodus
is
4,
where
yes.
Moses was asked by God, what do you have in your hand? Was that it?
Right.
What's that
So,
you have in your hand? Yes.
So I was saying I don't have any qualification. What am I going to do? And I was asked, what do I have in my hand? A master's degree on a scholarship. And let me tell you, with that rod, I was able to form this company that has helped persons now. It's about what, 34 million Jamaican dollars in scholarships and counting.
Yes.
Right? Even up to recent, I mean, I was saying, you know, where is this going? I got another report. A young lady got through for one of our clients for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship to study in Spain come September, in the middle of Corona.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's from her accessing our scholarship coaching services. So I will refer to myself as a scholarship coach.
Scholarship coach.
Yes.
What see? Sharon is saying, oh wow, thanks for this information. I'm learning a lot here. Yes, because I think there are so many people who would have done so much more if they had had the coaching and the information on how to access these scholarships. So about how many people would you say you have helped?
I want to say millions.
Say
in fact, we're streaming. I'm assuming we're streaming to thousands. So let me say thousands, because this interview is helping many. So we have a record of all our testimonials. I'm going to ask you to check our social media page. Our Instagram page has a lot of our video testimonials there. I'm going to encourage you to, that's Skolastik_Oasis. Somebody will put the handle there for you. I'm going to encourage you to go on our website, and that will be put in the chat for you too, so you can see in terms of our track record. But we have helped many, both known and unknown. We've also even gone into helping persons in entrepreneurship. Yes. So we have, we're now going into the area of social entrepreneurship, which Marcus Garvey, I found out now, was also pushing. Back from that, it's nothing new. You know, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm just providing support and coaching services. So even with doing now the social enterprise support and the coaching, now persons, I'm getting news. In fact, two persons who recently applied for a particular fellowship, business related, have now gotten through. So John, I don't know, it's not really me because I'm saying, what is it that I'm really doing? It can't just be me, John. There must be something supernatural helping these people get through. Because remember, you know, I do not have a contact with the funder. I am not calling the funder and saying, hey guys, what are you looking for? Yes. I have a friend here, I have a client here, and I want them to get through and do a thing. No, I don't know this person. I don't have direct. I'm just looking on their guidelines on their website or wherever they put it. And I'm working with a team of people. So don't get me wrong, it's not just me alone. I have a team working with of professionals, going through the application forms with people, working on personal development, vision board, how to conduct yourself in a scholarship interview, which is slightly different from a corporate or a job interview. Yes. How to put together an academic CV or a scholarship CV different from a job CV. So something supernatural must have happened, because in the first stages, when I just started, few testimonials, and then bam, 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 they're just coming one after the other. And what year did you start this again? So we started, the company is registered in 2016. Yeah. But we started unofficially when I was just offering the service to anyone in 2014. I was new to the whole business thing. So I've grown. Okay. And so, yeah. So it's like 5 years now.
And I
Yes.
must apologize if you're hearing a lot of party music coming through, because
Oh,
there seems to be a party starting somewhere nearby.
what?
Yes, it's what we do.
Girl,
Welcome to Jamaica. So anyway, no problem at
yes.
all. Marcia Williams is saying, go on through Tracy. And but Tracy saying, go on through God, because it must be something
Yes. Has to be.
supernatural. So it's really good
Yes.
to
Yeah.
hear these testimonials of people who are actually getting success. And so
And
therefore, you are, I mean, you stated that your vision is for SOC to become a global leader in educational services by 2022, and that is next year, you
mhm.
know. So I would say, based on the success stories that you are sharing, and everything else, that you are pretty close. What do you think? How do you
Yeah,
see it?
yes, I am, you have to ensure that when you set your targets, it's not something that you're going to just achieve automatically, or would not necessarily be a target. But
Yes,
yes, I would believe that we're on our way to
yes,
achieving this, and it will continue beyond.
yes.
I want to give a special shout out to the current team here working with us. In
Yes.
fact, they themselves are scholarship recipients coming through
Ah,
Skolastik. So
awesome.
we have Sebastian Lawrence on Instagram who's doing the streaming. He is the
Yes.
recipient of an Edward Siaga scholarship. Um,
Sebastian, are you okay with showing your face? Can you
I think
um
you're going to show it.
there he
Okay,
is.
you see him.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, good to see you.
yes. And we
And
also have Shanake on, who has gotten
yes.
5 scholarships. Now, when I was
What did he
doing all this thing, yes, Shanake, please show your face. When we were doing this thing, I was thinking maybe 1 or 2, most maximum per person, not 5. And Shanake is a recipient of
Congratulations
5.
to both of
Yeah.
you. Yes, that's awesome. Yes, Dana is in here saying amazing. No, people, obviously, more and more people need to know about the services being offered by Scholastic Oasis Caribbean. So I am hoping that Shanake and Sebastian are putting in the comments, both on Instagram and on Facebook, on the KW Magazine Facebook page, and put it inside the Zoom chat as well, please, to make sure that if Dana needs to share it as well, the connections, the website is what we need. Once we get the website there, then you'll be able to get more information and to make contact with Miss T.A. Hyman, the entrepreneur, the scientist, the educator, the there are so many things
Yeah.
behind, in front of you, for the glory of God. Let
Amen.
us not forget Tracy Ann Hyman, the author.
Yes.
Title of the book. When is the book going to be released?
June 30, 2021.
June, woohoo! June 30,
2020.
2021.
Keeping my fingers crossed.
Yes. And I know you are pre-selling the book
Yes.
so that
Yes.
people can actually secure their copy of the book from now. So if
Yes.
you can put that in the chat as well, so that
Yes.
people can get that link, so that they can pre-purchase this book, which you say is not just for it's not just memoirs, but it's also like a manual. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
A
Of how
manual
to
for
how
what
to
again?
navigate living overseas. Not only Japan. I use Japan as a case study, but how to
Yes,
navigate living outside of the Caribbean region,
I
I can say.
love that. I love that. So definitely, definitely, people need to get this book entitled "How Do I? How do you use I don't want to miss. How do you use these darn chopsticks? And what's the subtitle again?
A memoir of a Jamaican woman who lived and studied in Japan.
Ah, so finally then, can you please show us? I am going to make sure to spotlight you for everyone.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so you can show us how to use the chopsticks.
All right. I have to put join, right? Yes. So here are these 2 sticks that give me a warm time to eat over my period of time in Japan.
Yes.
So you're going to have the 2 of them placed here, but you have to have your fingers almost like this. Let's see if you can see. Almost like, I don't want to say it's like a crab, but almost like a little hut, like you're going to form a hut.
Yes.
Are you seeing me?
Yes.
Then you're going to actually put your thumb over your index and your middle finger. You're going to hold the top the top chopstick there with those. So those 3 form Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. All right. Then the ring finger is going to hold the second chopstick steadily. So you see it holding it there, the ring finger. And the pinky is the only finger that is free, somewhat free, but it supports your ring finger should your ring finger slip.
Okay.
Yeah. So the ring finger goes there, the pinky is there. So you have to hold your grasp, ensure that they're equal, the stick there.
Yes.
Right? You see my thumb over there. My thumb is kissing my index finger. You're holding it. This is so that's the stick that moves. The one at the top, the one at the bottom remains steady.
Yes.
And that's what you move. So I'm going to pick up something here.
What are we
and
eating?
Hold it. I can't eat this. But it's a paper clip. But look here, you see as simple as it look here now? It wasn't that simple. It took me some time. What I used to do was not eat out at all. Or ask for a fork. But when you ask for a fork, everybody else is using a stick. So you feel embarrassed that you're asking for a fork. Say, can I use a fork, please? So after a while, I had to learn to use it. But trust me, now, whoops, I let it go.
Yes.
Now that I know. So I'm going to be doing chopstick classes just before releasing the book. So trust me, guys, sign up, email us, Skolastik Oasis Caribbean at gmail.com. It's in the chat to reserve your spot and get your copy of that book.
Yes.
Thank you, Joanne.
That is awesome. So now at least I have some kind of information to start trying to use chopsticks next time around so that I won't have to ask for the what you call it?
Assistant. You're going to have to take me on as your chopstick coach.
Chopstick coach.
Right? The chopstick coach.
So that I won't have to ask for the fork, you know, and then have people looking at me because I'm asking for a fork in a space where everybody else is using chopsticks. This was an amazing conversation. Very crucial. We learned so many things. And we are very grateful to you, Tracy, and to your team, Shanake and Sebastian, who are here. Woo-hoo! And of course, to Dana, who has been interfacing, and to each one of you watching on Facebook or on Instagram. It was good to have had you here and to have had you taking part in this conversation. So link us again, same place, next week, Saturday, June 5. One of the features in the magazine is health. We have a health feature. And you know what is so ironic? We did not plan this way. Binky Young is asking, by the way, if it's going to be a virtual chopstick class.
Yes,
virtual
definitely.
chopstick class. Okay. So we didn't plan, but the person who will be our special guest next week actually spent some years in Japan.
Okay.
Right. Didan Ashanti. She is going to be with us next week, Saturday, same time, same place. So just tune in. And now, yes, Winsome is saying really awesome conversation. Keep going. T.A.
Hi, Winsome. Hi, one of my coaches. Yes.
Oh.
Fellow coaches. Yeah.
Yes.
Before you go, Joanne, I want to just shout out all those. I see a lot of persons who I know who came on.
Yeah.
Guys, you know I was going to check if you came. So you guys are relieved. Shout out to Winsome, Sharon, Sams, Reverend Solomon, Delia, Bianca. Thank you so much. Margaret, thank you for your support. And Joanne, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm humbled and honored. Please keep going at it. Guys, get the KW magazine. You need to get it. Conversations with faith and culture. Those of you who may be struggling with your Christianity and your identity, you need to have that acceptance also of who God created you to be in your skin color, in your race, in your ethnicity. And this is a magazine to get. Yes.
Thank you very much for that plug. And let me just say, Dana, please. Oh, I haven't given you the links, have you?
Oh, yes, for the magazine. Yes.
Let me put all of these links right here. Well, it's 2 links. One link is to read all the issues of the KW magazine online. And the other link is to actually purchase the download, the PDF download, because when you read it online, you aren't able to download it there. But in order to help keep the work going, if you could purchase the download, it's not much. Just go to that link that Dana is going to put in the comments, and then you'll be able to access all
the
of
KW magazines.
The KW magazines, yes. So, people, we have come to the end of another very crucial conversation. We are beg God for bless you and keep you. We are begging him for smile upon you. We are begging for show him love, even though none of we no deserve it. And we are beg God for look upon you and give you him peace. Both now and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day until him come back. What good and one love.